So you finally got your hands on BONELAB, the most anticipated VR game in recent memory, with its promises of heart-pounding non-stop action that will leave you feeling like Neo or John Wick. Maybe you got BONELAB on your Quest 2, eager to finally experience what VR was made for, after years of jealously watching PC players reveling in the future of VR gaming. So after spending some time contemplating life during the loading screen, you let the old you, who never played BONELAB, die, and you play through what seems to be a straightforward tutorial to get you used to some of the mechanics. You then fall down an elevator, and the most amazing gaming experience of your life begins. No, wait, what is this? Instead, it seems like the game is over, and you now have access to some mini-games and a sandbox mode. Not to worry, you soon figure out that you need to fiddle around with this crane to continue the story. But something's still not right. You were promised intense, next-level VR action, but instead you spent most of your time wandering around empty areas with no enemies, trying to figure out what you're supposed to do to advance. I think at this point, some people start to think, is this it? Is this what we were all hyped up for? A janky, incoherent mess with no story? Even if you can look past the glitchiness, you might feel a bit let down. I know I did. I mean, come on. One whole level was just a roller coaster ride which essentially required no input from you. However, if you keep going until you get to the bridge level, your disappointment will melt away. No, not because of this. Okay, maybe partially because of this, but also because, like me, you will have a blast on this level. There was just something about this sense of freedom that suddenly becoming a nimble ninja filled me with. I was bouncing around, performing death-defying leaps, most of the time, and enjoying the crap out of it. Something similar happened with the very next level too, where I was easily overpowering hordes of the undead to protect a rock? I don't know. And as I played more, I started to realize something. BONELAB's campaign is not so much a story as it is a series of levels, each specifically designed to give you an introduction to a specific feature of the game. For example, gunplay, melee combat, vehicles, the characteristics of different avatars and how they affect your abilities, and so on. Like a sort of tech demo, if you will. Once you finish a level, you pretty much move on to a different concept. Boneworks was different. It had more of a focus on the story, and it definitely felt more cohesive. But I didn't play Boneworks for the story. I spent much more time in the sandbox and arena modes, enjoying the freedom to play the game the way I wanted to. That's what kept me coming back. And I think Stress Level Zero know that. That's why they bring in all the different modes so early and as part of the campaign. It doesn't make sense to hide the most fun modes of the game. And just by the way, while the campaign can feel a bit muted, it definitely does have its moments. This brings me to my next point. People's expectation of how cool the game will feel versus what it's actually like playing it. That disconnect exists for two reasons. First, being John Wick or Neo is not easy. Most of us don't have the coordination to execute flawless attacks on our enemies, but with practice we can get close enough. The second reason is due to the jankiness of the physics, but this is just unavoidable with such a physics-based game. Trust me, I'm not making excuses. I played Boneworks on release day. I got my hand stuck in a dumpster and couldn't free it for a good minute. I suffered through the initial wobbly, nausea-inducing climbing experience. But I think if you want this innovative total physics freedom, you just need to accept those things. If that's not your thing, then you can enjoy a more restricted but smoother gaming experience like what you get in other games. But in my opinion, this is what VR was made for. Because in between all the jank, there are some truly golden moments you won't get anywhere else. I saw one Steam review complaining about how bland and pointless the moon level is. but I spent over half an hour jumping around and exploring it, and playing with stuff in the low gravity. I think you need to enjoy the freedom instead of wondering where the structure is. Now, if that's all there was to BONELAB, it might not have been enough to redeem it, but Stress Level Zero know just what goes together with an open sandbox type experience: community content. The built-in support for community-made avatars and mods is what will really make this game shine. We literally can't imagine what kind of crazy and awesome things the community will come up with. Just look at Pavlov. It would have been long gone if it wasn't for the community maps and modes that keep you coming back. Now, you could make a case that it's lazy for a developer to charge this much for a game and then expect the community to fill in the blanks. And I might even agree with you, but it doesn't bother me too much if the end result is that I get this kind of freedom and replayability. So overall, I would definitely recommend BONELAB. Just make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. If you don't like what you see now, maybe hold off until there's some more community content to explore. But that's just my opinion. What did you think of BONELAB? Let me know in the comments, and make sure to like this video and subscribe for more like it. I'll see you guys next time.